Hello, everyone. So, by diving into the deep world of deep ocean of mycology, unmasked mycology, from budding yeast to vesicle-rich hyphae, the fungal cell, we got to know that the fungal cell is a powerhouse of adaptability. Whether you are a MBBS student or a microbiologist or a researcher at the frontier, you have now explored the fungal cell from microscope to mitochondria. We discussed about the organelle crosstalk, the extracellular vesicles, the epigenetics, phase separation, the very important Spitzenkorper and polar growth, etc., and the recent advances carried on fungi in 2025 and the scope of further researches also. Now coming to a very important topic, which is fungal dimorphism. Fungal dimorphism means ability of fungi to exist in two morphological forms. One is the mold form at room temperature, that is approximately 25 degree, and another is the yeast form, that is at body temperature. We already learned the mnemonic, that's mold in cold and yeast in heat, or yeast in U. Mold means filamentous form, 25 degree, lesser temperature, so cold, and yeast is a hotter temperature, that is 37 degree in U, means inside the body, and it is an unicellular structure. So this is the temperature dependent shift and reversible, and those are regulated by genes, pH, hormones, and CO2. Now, Histoplasma capsulatum, the mold form is the hyphae with microconidia, and yeast in macrophages, yeast form, and clinical importance, pulmonary or systemic histoplasmosis. It can cause blastomyces dermatitis, hyphal form in soil, and yeast form, broad-based budding yeast. It causes blastomycosis. Coccidioids, hyphae, that is the arthroconidia bearing hyphae. Spherules with endospores, those cause valley fever. Paracoccidioids, mycelia in soil, those are specifically known as Mariner's wheel yeast. South American blastomycosis they cause, and Talaromyces marnifi, mycelia mold form, and yeast form, that is the fission yeast, it cause HIV or AIDS associated infection, that is opportunistic infection in Southeast Asia. Detection of invasive candidiasis in ICU. Risk factors, central line, broad spectrum antibiotics, long-term antibiotics, TPN, total parenteral nutrition, neutropenia, abdominal surgery. So what are the tests? There is the blood culture test, which is gold standard but low sensitivity. Time consuming, it takes 2 to 3 days to give the reports. Beta-D-glucan assay, serum fungal cell wall marker, it is early but non-specific detection. You cannot find out the particular species. T2 Candida panel, this is the magnetic resonance plus PCR. This slide is very much important for all of you. Utility is the rapid species level identification in approximately 5 hours. PCR or RT-PCR species identification and very important resistance gene detection, but it is not widely standardized. Mannan anti-Mannan assay, ELISA for antigen antibody and used as adjuncts. Culture from sterile sites, drain fluid, BAL, biopsy supports diagnosis if blood culture is negative. So T2 Candida panel for species level identification and RT-PCR also species level along with resistance gene identification. Now GMA stained tissue, that is the Grocott's methenamine silver stain, fungal cell appears black, background is green or pale. So what are the findings? Septate findings are septate hyphae with acute angle branching, 45-degree branching, then you can identify it as Aspergillus species. Is aseptate or pauciseptate, ribbon-like, broad hyphae with right angle branching, then zygomycetes, that is mucor, rhizopus, etc. Small budding yeasts plus minus pseudohyphae. Pseudohyphae may be present, may not be present. Those are the Candida species. Must. Intracellular yeast inside macrophages. Histoplasma capsulatum. So those are the important identifying features. Now, this is very important diagrammatic representation of fungal cell with antifungal targets and resistance mechanisms. In short, slide is also very important. So, fungal cell wall component, as we know, chitin, the inner layer, beta 1,3 glucan, middle layer, and manoproteins in the outermost layer. An antifungal target, that is echinocandin. Echinocandin inhibits beta 1,3 glucan synthase. Echinocandins inhibit beta 1,3 glucan synthase. Echinocandins means caspofungin and indulafungin. And resistance mechanism, FKS1 mutation, that is the hotspot region. For azoles, antifungal target is the lanosterol demethylase, ergosterol pathway genes alteration. Efluxpalm, CDR1, MDR1, and ERG11 mutations. They block ergosterol synthesis. And polyenes like amphotericin B bind to ergosterol. They form PORs. This beta 1,3 glucan affected by echinocandins, and outermost manoprotein and the innermost ergosterol, the component of cell membrane. A nucleus is a target for flu cytosine. These arrows are given actually pointed wrongly. You should find it out and make a correct diagram. Flu cytosine inhibit DNR RNA synthesis via conversion to 5-FU. FUR1 or FCY2 gene mutations. Cytoskeleton target, that is a microtubule target by griseofulvin. It inhibits microtubule assembly, blocks mitosis. Resistance mechanism is tubulin gene mutation. So in short, those are the names of the antifungals and the resistance mechanisms, but the arrows, you have to put it correctly after studying the chapter in whole. So thanks for your patience. Study well, like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.